Harry Osborn was murdered in cold blood right in front of Peter Parker in the last issue of Ultimate Spider-Man we covered, and a lot has happened since then. So today we're going to be breaking down not one, not two, but 4 issues of Ultimate Spider-Man in one video for you guys.
Peak fiction incoming.
So if you don't remember what happened in the last issue we covered, which I'm sure a lot of you guys don't because it's been a while since we were on this series, basically upon being captured by Kraven the Hunter, who works for Kingpin, Peter and Harry were thrown into the Savage Lands to be turned into prey and hunted down because Kraven wanted to participate in what he considered to be the greatest hunt of his life. If you want to watch this video in full screen mode, go sub to our YouTube channel. Once Kraven finally found our 2 protagonists though, he realized that taking them down wasn't going to be so easy when Peter snapped his rifle in half, broke his wrist just moments later, and then pummeled him onto the ground before welling into his face with one punch after another. But unfortunately, due to the fact that Peter refused to end his life despite how horrible of a person he was, Harry and Peter erupted into an argument, resulting in Peter putting his guard down, which gave Kraven an opportunity to pull out his sidearm and shoot a bullet that not only went right through Peter's stomach, but also directly in the center of Harry's forehead. So Peter started welling into Kraven once again, this time filled with so much rage that it seemed like he wasn't gonna stop, but then he was interrupted by none other than Mysterio, claiming that Peter was interfering with what they had planned for Kraven, and then suggesting that Peter escape the Savage Lands while he had the chance so he can make sure his family was still safe and alive. So Peter booked it over to his condo as fast as superhumanly possible, stumbling in through the front door as soon as he got there before telling MJ that their identities were compromised, so they needed to get the kids and run. But that's where I left you guys hanging, so I'm sure you guys are wondering where the story is now. Well, when telling MJ that they needed to run, he meant that them and the kids needed to get as far away from their home as possible as quickly as they possibly could. So they packed all their necessities into an RV and then drove all the way out to a campground in Utah that was basically in the middle of nowhere. And although none of them really liked it and the kids were always bored, they tried staying positive and making the best of things by visiting all the nearby canyons and other places they could go sightseeing. But one day, one of their campground neighbors warned them of an old abandoned military base out there, suggesting that they stay as far away from it as possible because people were frequently disappearing over there, and apparently the ground moved in weird ways that he couldn't explain. But letting his curiosity get the best of him, Peter decided that him and his son Richard should investigate what was going on at this place to see if there were actually people in danger. So a few hours later, they suited up and swung their way over to the place, and at first it was just quiet and ominous. But soon enough, just like their neighbor told them, the ground began trembling beneath them, and none other than Ultimate Sandman was lifting Peter into the air before trying to launch his body into a nearby tower. The thing about this tower though is that every time Sandman would take the appearance of a human, it would blast him with a massive charge of electricity and turn him back into a pile of sand. But relentless as ever, he would just keep on coming back again and again after each shock,